And why aren't the liberals talking about gun control? Every time there's a high-profile shooting, that's their go-to move. I wonder why.
So that was Jesse Waters, being Jesse Waters and making a really stupid talking point that will now be regurgitated on every loading dock in this country. And whenever the subject of the CEO comes up, just get ready for someone to throw that talking point into your comment section and ask, why ain't nobody calling for gun control now? Why ain't the left talking about gun control? They always like to say it anytime something like this happens, but they ain't saying it now. What's up with that? Well, the first answer that comes to my mind is because this wasn't innocent children losing their lives in their classroom. That's the main reason. Now, before we keep rolling with this video, I want to make it absolutely 100% clear that I do not condone political violence of any kind. I condemn it. I do not think that this was the answer at all. Okay, I want to make sure everyone knows where I stand on that. I do feel bad for the guy's family. I do. But the reason why that I'm not having that conversation now is because it wasn't innocent children in our schools. And when I think about having the conversation about innocent children in our school, I think about the fact that I've had people like Tim Burchett here in East Tennessee say, well, you can't fix it. I mean, if someone was going to hurt you, they're going to hurt you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. I mean, he said his daddy told him that. And that's what frustrates me so much with these people, is that whenever we try to have the conversation, the party that says they're all about protecting children never wants to have that conversation when it comes to our children being protected at school. They want to tell us that it can't be fixed, or they want to tell us that that's just the price that we have to pay in order to have the Second Amendment. And another talking point that I'm hearing ever since the CEO situation, another talking point I'm hearing is, man, the left is making that guy Luigi out to be some kind of folk hero. They're turning him into some sort of celebrity, man. How sick is that? Wait a minute, ain't you the same guys that made a folk hero out of Kyle Rittenhouse? You guys are the ones now that pays money to go see that kid talk like he's some sort of expert on the subject. And the truth be told, the reason why that they turned Kyle Rittenhouse into a hero is because they were living vicariously through him, just like they do Donald Trump every day. When they saw Rittenhouse do what he did, that's exactly what they were wanting to do all through 2020, but they didn't have the guts to do it themselves. So they sat back and lived through this kid whose mom dropped him off in a town where he didn't even belong, and the cops just stood back and let him play vigilante. They turned that guy into a hero. And I've got one worse than that. These people have lined up to let George Zimmerman sign a pack of Skittles. So I don't ever want to hear anyone talk about us turning someone into a folk hero. I'm not going to turn that guy into a folk hero. You know, I'm not. But if you want to have the conversation about folk heroes, you guys got Kyle Rittenhouse. You guys got George Zimmerman. And that's pretty damn disgusting. You got no stones to throw at us whatsoever. We've tried to have conversations about the Second Amendment for a long time. And I want to make another thing very clear. I own a gun and I carry a gun. I do every day. Because I am constantly being threatened every day by people who won an election, but just, I guess, are so excited about fighting that they can't quit trying to, they can't stop threatening me on a daily basis. So yes, I everywhere I go, I have to carry one and look over my damn shoulder. I'm not against the Second Amendment. I believe that people do have a right to protect themselves. But I keep a copy of the Constitution right here on my desk, and I do so because I'm constantly having to read it because MAGA loves to bastardize it. So let's go to the Second Amendment, and I just want to read it here to make sure I'm saying it the right way. I've almost got it memorized. I've said it so many times here on the channel. But Amendment 2, that was proposed in 1789 and ratified in 1791, a well-regulated militia. Those first three words should really make everyone stop and pause on that. But a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, the part that MAGA and these hardcore Republicans love to latch on to is that last part, shall not be infringed. And they think that means them. And they twist this around to say that the well-regulated militia means them just being able to form one and go overthrow a tyrannical government. And they have set and twisted that into, oh, we have the right to do what we want to do. And now they're sitting back criticizing people on our side for not bringing the subject up again. Well, the truth of the matter is, no matter when we bring the subject up, you guys always kick and scream against it. So if this had been flipped in a different way, and let's say that had been a different billionaire that it had happened to, they would be screaming something totally different. We have to come to a point in this country where we can sit down and have conversations without one side trying to vilify the other one, or without one side trying to make a folk hero out of somebody, or without one side just always trying to have a gotcha moment. Again, I don't support political violence of any kind. You will always hear me call it out and condemn it. I will always say that it's not the answer. But the reason why that we're not talking about it at this particular moment is because we find our children to be more important, and we value them more than the right wing does. They only use that phrase, protect the children, when they can find a way to demonize people they don't like. They want to protect children from drag queens. Meanwhile, they're the same people who says they don't want the government to interfere in your life. They say that you should have the right to your freedom of expression, which, if I'm going to go back and read the First Amendment real quick, Amendment 1, which was proposed in 1789 and ratified in 1791, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. I think Mike Johnson needs to read that one over and over and over again until it gets in his little mind. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of the people to peacefully assemble and petition the government for the redress of grievances. So the way I look at it, if someone is putting on a drag show, they have a right to do that. They're covered under the amendment of free speech. If they're on a platform that allows them to be on it, that's their right. It's also a parent's right to take their child wherever they want to go. I have never took my children to a drag show, by the way. I've never done that. But if I decide to, it should be my right to take them wherever I want to go without someone else interfering and saying, no, wait, I get to decide where you take your kids. I am agnostic. I don't believe there's anything on the other side of this. I believe when we die, the lights go out, okay? I hope there's something over there. I hope to see my grandpa again. It'd be great to see him. I'd really like to bump into Dwayne Allman in the afterlife. I hope it's real. I would love to sit and watch him play slide guitar in a field of roses. It would be wonderful. But I don't fully believe in that. But I don't tell people not to take their kids to church, and I do believe that a whole lot of grooming happens right there. When you raise children up to believe that if they make a mistake, they're going to die and burn in a pit of hell, I have never heard that the drag queens are saying that to children. Now, I'm not trying to get distracted from the point I was trying to make, but if you're going to sit and talk about the government overreach, the government shouldn't tell you where you can and can't take your children. But there's one place our children have to go. They're required to go, and that's to school. And when they go there, they should be protected from the time they leave your presence till the time they get back to you, and you shouldn't have to sit and worry about if they're going to make it home or not. And it's a shame that we live in that world, and it's a shame that we can't have that conversation. And it's a shame that the right always tries to find a way to flex at us and go, well, why ain't you talking about it now? Why ain't you guys talking about it now? Why ain't you bringing it up now? We're going to bring it up when we feel it's the most important. And that's not a knock on the CEO, but our children are much more valuable than he will ever be. Okay? And again, I don't condone what happened. I condemn political violence. I feel sorry for the dude's family here around the holidays. But when I have the conversation about the Second Amendment, it's going to be because I'm sick and damn tired of just any idiot being able to go out there and find any firearm he wants to in any pawn shop around here and go do something stupid. So I realize that we're in for a long and bumpy ride. I realize we're living in a world of uncertainty. But I want to thank you guys so much for continuing to stick with me and supporting what it is that I do every day. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. We're closing in on 500,000. We're about to close in on 475 right now, so we're getting there. I do believe we'll get there before the end of the year at the rate we're going, and I thank you for that. But I want to let everyone out there know the way I look at all this. I have close friends of mine who will say to me, Brando, I feel bad. I haven't watched one of your videos in a couple of days. Listen. What we talk about here every day is heavy. It weighs heavy on me myself. I had to take a few days to go to California. Shout out to Coach D and shout out to the Voice of Reason guys who helped, put some videos on the channel so I could step back and take a breather. We all need to work on our mental health. We all need to make sure that we're okay. So if you need to take a break from Brando's videos, or you need to hit the unsubscribe button and go away for a while and put YouTube away for a while, listen, There's not going to be hard feelings for me. You come back when you feel like it. You sit here and you get in on the conversation when you feel like it. If you don't feel like leaving a comment, don't. But if you do, it helps boost the videos in the algorithm. It helps get them out there. So hit the like button. Leave a blue heart if you want to. If you need to take a break, take a break. I'm not here to set and expect you guys to be here every single day. I realize that what we're talking about is heavy. I realize that what we're talking about is combative, and I realize we're dealing with very combative, cruel, cold-hearted assholes. I realize the comment sections can get very toxic, so that's why I try to steer clear of them the best I can. So another thing I want to let everyone out there know is that if you get comments from someone calling themselves Tennessee Brando telling you to join them on WhatsApp or whatever, that's not me. I don't do any of those things. I rarely comment in the comment section, and if I do, it's directly responding to the comment that was made. I'm not having any sort of auction, not raffling off a guitar. I'm not doing any of those things. Don't want to talk to you on WhatsApp. Don't want you to message me somewhere else. I don't want to know what your Cash App is. That stuff gets pretty exhausting. I try to report as many of those profiles as I can. Nothing seems to happen about it, but just don't fall for anything and don't click on anything like that. I'm Tennessee Brando. This is where you can find me. This is where you can subscribe to me, and I appreciate you guys so much for being here with me. I hope everyone out there has a safe and happy holiday season. Whatever you celebrate, I hope you do it with your family, and I hope you get through it. And I wish everyone well, and I do not wish harm on anyone. I hate whenever it happens, but I'm always going to be talking about the Second Amendment, and I'm going to be talking about it as long as we're around and as long as there's crazy people in this world doing crazy things. But I'm always going to put the children first ahead of anyone else.